Welcome back to OpenLine, talking about helping folks get access to healthy food. There's some video of the farmers market, the one right downtown. There are multiple farmers markets all over Davidson County. We're going to talk about that. But Roger called right as we went to the break, and he was asking about other locations for Second Harvest Food Bank. We mentioned there was a number. We'll put that number up, and you can tell us a little bit about that, right? Again, there's the number. And what if you call that, what do you get?
Right, so if you guys will call that number, you'll be able to, the folks at the food bank will be able to point you in a direction based on your zip code where the closest food pantry is. You can also go to our website, secondharvestmidtn.org. Hopefully we can get that up there as well, and click on Get Help. And it's by county, all the different food pantries and the phone number that you can call, and they'll tell you when they're open, when you can come by and get some food. So glad Roger called. That's a great question.
Yeah, he lives in Madison, was asking about the Madison area, but there, you said 500 locations, lots of different locations, which is good because 1 out of every 7 people is in need. So that's good information. Number of farmers markets. Okay,
yes, sir.
How many?
There are, well, there's the Nashville Farmers Market, of course.
Right.
They have a different program that doesn't double SNAP benefits. I think they have a $10 match. There are 5 community-based farmers markets that are nonprofit.
And now it looks like we're putting something up here. So we have Hip Donaldson.
The Hip Donaldson Community Farmers Market is the administrator of the Piedmont Snapback program. And the Hip Donaldson Market runs on Fridays from 4 until 7 at 2730 Lebanon Pike. On Fridays again from 4 till 7, and then again on Saturday at 2416 Music Valley Drive from 10 until 1. We also have the East Nashville Farmers Market over on Davidson Street in Shelby Park. And that's Wednesdays from 3:30 to 6:30, and they also do the $20 the double up to $20, as well as Richland Park on Saturdays from 9 until noon, and then 12 South Farmers Market on Tuesdays at Sevier Park and Granny White Pike, and then, as we said earlier, Amqui Station Farmers Market on Sundays from noon. I think I said till 2, but it's till 3 o'clock on Sundays.
So you go to one of those, what happens?
You go and you take your SNAP card, and you go up to their information tent, and you ask to buy tokens. So the farmers market is the retailer, not the individual farmers or the vendors. And so you go up and you ask to purchase your tokens. And you say, I want to buy $20 worth of tokens to spend at the market on food. And they'll swipe your card and give you tokens that are worth $1 each. And they will double that up to $20. And one set of tokens is good for any kind of food product that is normally good for any kind of SNAP benefit food. The other is good for any type of fresh fruits and vegetables, and that's your free tokens.
And what we're talking about also is this is fresh produce that's come in. These are farmers that are coming in, and you're getting to go by a bunch of different booths and that kind of thing. Is that how it works?
That's exactly right. And we are all producer-only markets. So what that means is it's no wholesale foods. It's not something that's been trucked in from far away. It's all locally grown produce. So this is picked yesterday or today, or the day of the market. So you know you're getting nutritionally sound food.
I'd like to point out too, it's one of the reasons why it's one of my favorite programs is it's a truly sustainable cycle. Mm-hmm. So you have a local farmer who is creating a product close to home, if you will, and the farmers markets, it's within that 100-mile radius, who's then selling it to a consumer who is giving him that money. The farmer typically puts back 80% of those profits back into his product in the community, and then the consumer is receiving something that's healthy and at a good price, and that's meeting a need in this case. And it just keeps on going. It keeps the whole cycle going. It's one of the best programs too. And the second point I'd like to make is that this program, 100% of dollars, whether they be supported by Piedmont Natural Gas, an individual that wants to give to the snapback program or another company. 100% of those dollars go directly to people's tables. Frank and the Hip Donaldson Farmers Market and every other market, there's no administration fee whatsoever. It's all purely volunteer based, and nobody makes any money. It's going 100% to tables.
That's great.
Not many programs are like that.
Do you think people know enough about this? Do you think people take advantage of this to the level they should?
No.
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 No, they don't. And that's one of the reasons why we're here, of course. And we come here every year, and thank you for that. You know, part of it is, I think, in some ways, people are ashamed. You know, but we protect the dignity to folks to the very bitter end. You know, this is not something that anybody should ever be ashamed of, ever. And we want to make sure that everybody is comfortable when they come to our markets. Because I mean, this is, it's like I was saying, these are working class people.
Absolutely. They've hit, probably, many of them have just hit a hard time, whether it's a medical thing or a job loss or something like that.
But you know, even if they haven't, it's okay. You know, everybody should eat. Everybody should be able to eat.
And certainly
regardless.
the cost of living in Nashville is just outrageous.
And transportation.
Well, it's going up now. Okay, it's going up. It's higher than it was. And so that probably fuels some of this need.
And all of our markets are located either right on the bus line or very, very close. I know the Hip Donaldson Market is not only on the bus line, but right on the train station. And we have a shuttle that runs from the train station at the Donaldson's train station, runs you straight to the market and takes you right back. We have a program that if you come and you're hungry, we'll feed you. You get a plate of food, a huge plate of food, free. All you gotta do is say, "I'm hungry. Give me a Hip Eats ticket." We'll feed you and your whole family. You will not be. Nobody will know that you're getting that food free. You'll sit there and eat at Fat Bites with everybody else. It's an incredible program.
Now that's in Donaldson.
That's only at the Donaldson location.
Fat Bite, that's a great place.
It is.
That's right there. I've been there.
Fat Bites cooks the food right there on the grill, and the food comes from the market every day, every Friday. It's an absolutely incredible program.
So I want to ask you, with Second Harvest, do you think people know? I've certainly heard of Second Harvest. Do you think people take advantage of it to the extent that they could? Do enough people? I feel like they know, but maybe they don't take advantage, or maybe they don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I agree with Frank. I think we know that, like I said earlier, there's 397,000 folks in Middle Tennessee that are dealing with food insecurity, and we know that through a study we do every 4 years with our partner Feeding America. But from being at the food bank for the few years that I have, I absolutely believe there's more people that are experiencing that need, that maybe they don't know about it, as Frank was alluding to. Maybe they don't feel comfortable going to a food pantry or going somewhere to get some help. But absolutely, I feel like that number is so much bigger than the number of folks actually tapping into that resource.
And there may be people that are, they feel ashamed, or they may feel uncomfortable, whatever it may be, and it's important to try and work through that.
Yeah.
You know, to make it as easy as possible to get this, if that's what they need, especially if they have kids.
I think another problem, especially with the SNAP program, is the illusion is that it's cheaper to buy sugary, you know, non-nutritionally sound foods, you know, that are found on the inside of the aisles of the grocery store, than it is to buy, you know, healthy foods which are on the outside aisles. And if you go in the grocery store, that's true. So they can get more food, you know, for their money, and that's an illusion. It's not healthy foods. And that's why we're doing this, you know, for the farmers markets, because if they will come to the farmers markets and use their SNAP benefits and be able to double that, they will fill their stomachs, you know, with healthy food a whole lot cheaper than going and getting the sugary, you know.
That's really important.
And
yeah.
that's the truth.
And I would say that it's easier to do that as well.
It is.
And a lot of that comes with you know, being unfamiliar with some fruits and vegetables, and not being accustomed to eating fresh vegetables
And
either.
how to prepare it.
So yeah, you know, more than likely maybe it's always been prepared Southern, you know, which isn't as healthy, you know, the Southern style, with added a lot of extra added ingredients that aren't necessarily healthy for you. But you know, and you know, we've seen it all at the farmers market with Frank. Children will come there, they don't even know what a head of broccoli is, and that has to change through education. And that's one of my favorite things too of the farmers market. They can sit and talk with the farmer, and they'll tell them how to prepare it. And they've also come up with some education opportunities there too. And Second Harvest has done an exceptional job training others and having certified dietitians coach some of the beneficiaries of these sweet potatoes on how to prepare them.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite parts of this partnership is we have a registered dietitian on staff, and she has a team of dietetic interns from Lipscomb and Vanderbilt, and they go throughout the community doing all sorts of education. And part of this partnership is we kind of help pair them up with where the sweet potatoes might be landing, where the food pantries are. So when folks are coming through, we made all these different recipe cards and different ways to prepare sweet potatoes, and their dietetic interns are there kind of demonstrating how to do that. And the comments that we hear back from people through Caroline have been awesome. And people are just like, oh, it's so easy to prepare these sweet potatoes, and they're so sweet already. We don't have to add sugar or whatever.
They're like a dessert.
Yeah, it really is.
They're so good. All right, I want to go to Lucy here before we go to break. Lucy, hello?
Hey.
Hey, Lucy.
Hey, y'all. Listen, thanks for having this show. I've got a couple comments, and then I've got a question that it's important to me. But, you know, as far as people, you know, doing the sugary foods and stuff like that, what I have found out, a lot of them are working 2 minimum wage jobs, and then the husband is working 1, and they're trying to rotate off babysitting, and it seems to be the only way they can get their kids fed and feel good about it, and be so exhausted all the time. But the other thing is the seniors. I've spoke to some seniors that literally are budgeting their utility bills right down to, I don't want to warm the oven up this morning or tonight because I've got my thermostat turned up, like right now the heat wave we're in, so they don't warm their place up, and because they're trying to cut back on their utilities so they can eat. So I mean, everybody has their way of surviving. It's just so complicated. But my question is, I don't like giving money, but if somebody wants something to eat, I'll feed them in a heartbeat. I give McDonald's cards to homeless people. I've gone to Kroger and bought gift cards so seniors, and I send them to them anonymously so they can get groceries. Do y'all have something like a punch card system or some sort of system that I could go buy so somebody can come and have, what did you call it, the Donaldson Market, where you feed people? If they're hungry, you'll feed them what did you call that, the grill and eats or something? Can I buy something to feed them like that?
All right, that's a good idea. Yeah, somebody wants to contribute. Yeah, okay. What about that?
We don't need anybody really to contribute, but that we would. I mean, that's very nice. But it's the Hip Eat. We're fully funded with that for this year. It's called Hip Eats, and anybody can come down and get a free meal. It's designed for people who are just, you know, struggling a little bit. It was actually designed originally for school-age kids, but we feed anybody. School-age kids, their mamas and daddies and grandmamas. It doesn't matter. If you're hungry, come down to our market after 4:30, between 4:30 and 6:45. Come to the information tent and tell us you want a Hip Eats ticket, and we'll give you a ticket. You go eat for free, get a big old plate of food. It's usually 2 chicken breasts and grilled veggies and a starch and drinks. And
so Lucy is, I think, saying, all right, she doesn't like to give money to somebody who's, you know, asking for money, but she wants to give them food, so she'll give them a McDonald's gift card. Could she get a Hip Eats gift card and give it to the person, or how? What
the best thing for her to do is just tell them to come to the market.
Just tell them to come. Just tell them to go down there.
Yes. That's all she needs to do.
And I really liked Lucy's point about senior hunger. That's a huge thing that we're seeing a lot of in the community. And we were talking about SNAP. You know, some of the seniors that we're serving through our food pantries are getting the SNAP benefit, but sometimes they're only able to get $16 a month, a very little amount of money. So they're living on fixed income. They have very limited resources, as Lucy mentioned. They're trying to figure out, how do I make little bit go a long way. The other point I wanted to make was to clarify and make the differentiation. You know, Lucy talked about not wanting to give money, and I totally understand that. You know, to folks who are asking for money, but I want to make sure that the conversation stays on folks who are food insecure. Because it's not just people on the street corner. That's actually an extremely small percentage of the folks who are food insecure. We're talking about, as Lucy mentioned, seniors at home, families, grandparents, children, these sort of things. And I think that sometimes folks will go straight to thinking about homeless folks, which is definitely a population of folks who are food insecure. But the problem is way bigger than that.
It's the people you wouldn't expect.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a break. If you want to call in, there's the number, 615-737-PLUS, 615-737-7587. Take a break. Be back right after this.